A show created by the fans, for the fans. We are your home for Ohio State football coverage all year long. The Scarlet and Gray Podcast, a Network 216 production. Live weekdays on the Network 216 YouTube channel. Send us all your questions and comments on Twitter at @VSG_podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Tyler Johnson, Jordan Dalton, and Nick Leisure.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode number 34 of the Scarlet and Gray Podcast. I am Tyler Johnson, joined as always by Nick Leisure, Jordan Dalton. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
Not too bad.
Hyped to have Jordan back on the pod, baby. He was down in Columbus for school for a couple weeks, so it's great to have our boy back with us.
Yep, passed my board.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Certified boiler inspector, man. Let's go.
Love it, love it. There's plenty to talk about tonight, guys. Of course, this is a Victory Monday once again. Love Victory Mondays. But before we get into any of that, just as a reminder, guys, to drop a like on tonight's video. And if you have not already, consider subscribing to the channel. Completely free to subscribe. But even if you aren't subscribed and are still considering doing that, even if you just drop a like on the video, we really would appreciate that as you help that YouTube algorithm grow for Network 216. But also, Network 216 and the Scarlet and Gray Podcast is proud to be a partner of Homage Athletic Apparel. If you are a brand new partner at Homage, a brand new shopper at Homage, if you go to their website and you enter in your email address, you can receive 15% off your first order. Also, with Black Friday about a month away, you're going to want to make sure you start checking Homage out now. Start saving things in your cart that you might want, and that way you can purchase it on Black Friday. They're going to have many great sales coming out. They also have an awesome Ohio State starter jacket. Browns have starter jackets. They have any team that you root for. Homage has exactly what you're looking for. No better place for retro athletic apparel. So check out homage.com. Gentlemen, Ohio State won on Saturday, and I mean, it was a pretty stressful game, I would say. But first off, what are just some of your takeaways from this game? Very low score. I mean, very, very low scoring. I think we expected more points to be put up in this game on Saturday, but what are just some of your initial thoughts?
That game went exactly how I thought it was going to go. I think I wasn't on the podcast for the pregame, but we were texting in the group, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a very similar game to the Notre Dame game. Pretty low scoring. Defense is going to win it, and that's pretty much what happened. It was pretty low scoring defense. Like the Columbus Dispatch said, we ride the D for victory. So, yeah, it was. We definitely we looked really good defensively, and I think there's a pretty good argument that we're the best defense in the country.
Yeah, dude. I think the Silver Bullets are definitely back. I mean, there's no doubting that. I know one of the big things we were worried about is kind of Penn State's two running backs they had. Dude, they only had 49 yards rushing in that game on Saturday. So, I mean, just a terrific job at all levels, really, on the defense. Drew Aller was suffocated all day, didn't ever really get a rhythm at all. And even though he threw the ball 42 times on Saturday, only completed 18. So it's like the defense definitely showed up, and the offense did enough. And that's kind of been the story from this Buckeye offense. They just seem to do enough, and McCord shows up when he needs to and pushes the ball down the field when he needs to. And again, the Buckeyes just continue to find a way to get wins.
I think the main thing for me is, don't get me wrong, it's his first year as a starter, but this is not Kyle McCord. Drew Aller, I mean, I know that he's only a sophomore, but he did not look good on Saturday against the Buckeyes. Not that really any quarterback has looked good against this Buckeye defense, but one thing's for certain, Penn State needs to learn how to recruit some wide receivers. You can have all the running backs in the world, but if you don't have any receivers that can create separation you're not going to do much in college football. And I think we saw the deficiencies to Penn State's offense. If you make, and kind of like we talked about, Nick, on the pregame, if you can make Drew Allaire beat you, make Drew Allaire beat you, because he can't do it. And we saw that, and we found that out on Saturday. So I think that's really what it came down to, is they made Drew Allaire try and beat them, and it just wasn't going to happen. I mean, he was kind of like you said, he was really bad in this game. Did throw a touchdown. It didn't really matter much when he did. 18 of 42, 4.5 yards per attempt, a 29.4 overall quarterback rating. But the Buckeyes, the big thing about the defense too, they shut down that Penn State running game. 26 carries for 49 yards, 1.9 yards per carry. I mean, this defense has been fantastic all year. The thing I want to go to first, guys, is Kyle McCord. Now, he struggled in this game. Penn State, as we talked about, has a very good defense. What were your thoughts with Kyle McCord on Saturday? Not his best performance, but like you said, Nick, whenever it matters, he seems to make plays.
I mean, he still threw for almost 300 yards. You know, it's like he missed some throws, and, you know, it's going to happen. But again, no turnovers. Now, we did get lucky on the one strip sack with the fumble. That was, thank goodness it got called back. But again, the holding penalty was why he hesitated, because he was looking to throw to Marv. He got held. He hesitated, ends up getting stripped. Fumble, takes back for a touchdown, waved off the board. So thank goodness. But yeah, I mean, 8.2 yards a throw. I mean, that's pretty solid if you ask me. So again, he just continues to be enough, and that's all you really need, as long as you're finding a way to win.
Yeah, and the two biggest games of this season, Notre Dame and Penn State, 0 turnovers for Kyle McCord, and I think that's really what's been his calling card this year. He's taking care of the football. In you can gripe all you want about big plays, and we get them occasionally, but he's taking care of the football. He had a slow start this week, but you know, we still won the game, and like pretty handily. I think we were talking about it. And it's like the score was kind of close at the end. I don't think it was ever in question, especially in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, with Kyle McCord, the biggest thing is you want to avoid mistakes. I will say this. He's been doing that plenty. I'll tell you, man, this man needs to learn some ball security, because if it wasn't for that holding penalty where he fumbles the ball and Penn State returns it for a touchdown, I mean, we could have been looking at a completely different ball game. And again, sometimes you need some calls to go your way. It happened for the Buckeyes on Saturday, but you could make the argument that really changed the momentum all the way around in this game. But Kyle McCord continues, again, does enough in order to win football games, which right now you need. At some point, I do think, what if the defense potentially has a bad game? You're going to need the offense to carry you. And the big question still is that Buckeye running game. What are we doing at running back? Because, you know, Travion Henderson, apparently Ryan Day again said he could have played. Like, I don't know what's going on with Henderson. Mine Williams didn't start this game. Trip Trainum did. And then basically Trainum got 2 carries, got taken out for Mine Williams. Mine Williams plays the whole first half, scores a touchdown, then gets taken out in the third quarter for Chip Trainum, and then Mine comes back in the in the fourth. But one thing that was missing on Saturday, you have a running back that could arguably be one of the top players on your offense, and you do not play him. So what are the Buckeyes going to do at the running back position moving forward?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jordan.
So Mine Williams is great. You know, he was my dude last year, my dark horse for the offense. I don't think he has any explosiveness though. And that's, Nick and I were texting during the game as well. Just like he doesn't hit the hole hard. He does run hard, and he's able to get those extra yardages and like those short yard situations, goal line, third down. But him as just a every down back is never going to work for this offense. Dallin Hayden, Yeah, I think he'd be a top 4 guy on the offense if they played him. And I don't get the logic of trying to save his red shirt this year.
Yeah.
Especially if he's playing, because that dude's going to be playing in the NFL one day.
Yeah.
Like he's that good. And at saving him, I just don't get it. I honestly don't.
Well, here's my biggest thing. All you hear from Hayden is that, well, his pass pro isn't that good. He's not good in the pass game. He can't really pick up blocks. I'm like, so then in obvious passing downs, just take him out of the game. You know, you bring Chip in or you bring Mayan in to help block. But it's like on first and second down, there's no reason that you shouldn't have a speedy back in the backfield. Because I don't know about you guys. I know we're kind of all on the same page. Running outside zone with Mayan Williams and Chip Trayanum just isn't it for me. You know, and it's like when you have a guy on the roster that's healthy and he's proven himself, it's like just let him play. Because like you said, Jordan, Hayden's not going to be a 5-year guy at Ohio State. He's just not. Like, let's say Travion, for some reason, if he goes to the NFL, Hayden's our guy, and he's probably only going to be at Ohio State for another year, and then he's probably off to the NFL.
Exactly.
So it's like there's no reason to hold on to a guy for that you think you're gonna have for 5 years when you're really not going to. You know, so it's really frustrating because this offense could be so much more explosive. Because I mean, that's what we're missing. We're missing the explosive running plays. And when Travion's healthy, he gives that. But when he's not on the field, we don't have anybody in the run game that can be explosive except for Hayden.
Yeah, it's so frustrating because you know how talented this guy is, and you're just not. The way I look at it, you know, we're undefeated and all that, and you're right in the midst of where you want to be for a national title and a Big Ten title. You're doing this team a disservice because you're not playing the guys that are giving you the best chance to win, okay? And it's easy to say, like, I mean, we are winning, correct. You're not running the ball effectively. You're not. Outside of Travion Henderson being healthy, you have not ran the ball effectively at all. Against Purdue, you did. And that's because, I mean, Purdue's run defense is one of the worst in the country. Dalen Hayden brings something to this offense that it doesn't have if Travion's on the field, and that's speed. And that's exactly what this team needs. You need a guy also that can catch the ball out of the backfield because, sorry, against Mayan Williams, I don't need to throw a swing pass out to him. It's not it. So I don't know what it needs to take if everyone has to get hurt for Dalen Hayden to play. I don't want it to come to that, but at the same time, why are we trotting Mayan Williams out there and Chip Trayanum when we have a guy that's better than them on the bench? I mean, Mayan Williams.
I know why.
Here are the numbers. Mayan Williams. Sorry, 24 carries, 62 yards, 2.6 yards to carry, touchdown. Great. Okay, I'm glad he got the touchdown, all right? That's what he's good at. He's a power back. Chip Trayanum, 9 carries for 22 yards, 2.4 yards a carry. Penn State is a really good defense, but you averaged 1.9 yards a carry, and you ran the ball 41 times. 41 times!
Stupid. That's so dumb. But then your quarterback's he's completing 22 passes, and he's averaging 8 yards a clip. It's like, maybe let's just throw the ball. Again, dude, I know I sound like a broken record. Just throw the ball 50 times. I don't care. Because you have the best receiver in college football, the best player in college football, out wide with number 18 and Maserati Marv. Let him just throw it to him every time. I don't care.
A top 5 receiving tight end that we hardly ever use.
And then we didn't even have a Mecca in this game. When he comes back and he's healthy, we better not be running the ball 40 times. Because if that's the case, gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do.
The weather wasn't even that bad to be just running that ball that much.
No. Again, I think Ryan Day he gets in these modes where he's like, I'm going to out-physical you. So that's all we're going to do. That's what he did against Notre Dame. I'm going to out-physical you every play. So we're going to run the ball, and we're going to average 2 yards a carry.
I tell you right now, we try to do that against Michigan, we're going to lose.
Oh, yeah, we're going to lose. We're going to lose.
100%. 100%.
So
and it's just –
and we're 7-0.
Yeah. And again, I know we're nitpicking here, but at some point, if that doesn't improve, it's going to cost you a game. It's just how it is. Like, And you're fortunate that Penn State is just not as good as you. I mean, that does help. I mean, they're still a pretty good football team, but it's clear the Buckeyes were the better team. Now, here's the question. Devin Brown. He is going to be out a couple weeks now with an injury. Ryan Day decided that he needed to use his backup quarterback in the red zone again. How do you guys feel about that decision? JD, well, Nick and I talked about last week. JD, how do you feel about bringing Devin Brown in the red zone? And then not only that, the guy gets hurt, and now you don't have your backup quarterbacks out for weeks now.
You already know how I feel about it. It doesn't give us an advantage for him to be in the game.
No, at all.
Because they literally said on the broadcast, they're like, yeah, they were saying Devin Brown was telling us before the game and in the pre-game meetings that they only have 5 plays out of this package. And I was like, all right. And I bet 4 of them are runs.
QB power left, QB power right, QB power left A, QB power left right A, and then a swing pass. That's it.
It doesn't make any sense. We go down the field, we're having a good drive. You bring in your backup quarterback to run the ball, and you just showed him the week before what you're going to run. He doesn't score the touchdown. He gets hurt. And like you said, TJ, now we have Jebbia as our backup, who's never played for us.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jebbia, he's like 30 years old, dude. It's like
30.
I mean, he's obviously. I don't even know if I can say this confidently. He's a better option than Keenholz. I mean, based on
I don't think he would be.
I mean, the only thing, I feel like the only reason at all that Jebbia would be the guy is because Keenholz didn't come in the springtime. That'd be the only. If Keenholz was here in spring, he'd be your backup after Devin Brown. I honestly believe that. But since he came in,
I'd play him over Jebbia.
I don't know, man. Because yeah, like you said, if God forbid McCord goes down, I mean, we're kind of screwed, you know. I mean, I guess, okay, I can't say that we're screwed because McCord is a very good game manager. And who knows, Jebbia might be just a good game manager as long as he doesn't turn the ball over. I mean,
we don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, the offense has not been – it's not like the offense has been super elaborate with a lot of deep shots down the field, you know. So it's like, would I have confidence in Jebbia? No. But we don't have any other options. So,
and the other thing, we don't even know how injured Devin Brown is. All we know is he left the game with the boot.
Yeah, Ryan Day said tonight on the show, 97.1 The Fan, that he's out for a couple weeks. That's all we know. Great. Okay. That gives us a lot of information. Travion Henderson's still day to day at this point. So.
And I get the only thing I keep hearing about Travion, I know we're kind of off topic now, but it's an upper body injury. It could be re-aggravated at any time. And I'm thinking to myself, he's a football player. He can get hurt at any time, no matter what. So it's like, I don't know why holding him out of this game. I mean, because it was big. It was the biggest game up to date. I mean, Notre Dame was big, but I feel like this game was bigger than the Notre Dame game.
Yeah,
it's like it's Big Ten. It's got, I mean, tiebreaker. You know, it's like we needed to win this game no matter what, and thank God we did. But I wish I knew what was going on with Travion because it's just like we don't know.
We could use him so bad,
dude. I'm getting to the point where, like, if he's not going to play,
just tell us.
Pull a JSN. Go to the NFL.
Just tell us.
I'm being for real. Like, it's kind of annoying at this point.
Because, every week I feel like I get my hopes up. Like, ooh, maybe we're going to see Travion. They're like, ooh, Travion went through warm-ups. He's looking good. And then it's like, well, Travion's not going to be active today. It's
you think it might be like a rib injury?
Yeah.
It probably is, dude.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he takes one shot, you know, but I don't know, dude. It's just really frustrating because – you're right. We could have used him so much in this game, and this game would have been honestly. If we have a speed back, this game's a blowout.
Probably. Absolutely.
I mean, it's a blowout. We gave up the defense gave up 6 points honestly, until the very end in garbage time.
I'm ready to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I'm in too.
Oh, well, since that's what you want to do, we'll just go right ahead and do it.
I'm in.
No, but anyway, regardless of what struggles you have on offense, one benefit when you have struggles on offense and having the best player in the country is just if you get him the ball, as we found out on Saturday, no matter how many guys are on him, no matter what the defense is in, no one can cover. Maserati Marvin Harrison Jr. in this game had 11 catches, 162 yards, 1 touchdown, 14.7 yards per catch. So obviously those are the stats, but I want to ask you guys this question. Is Marvin Harrison Jr., I think he is the best overall player talent-wise. Is Marvin Harrison Jr. what you would consider the most valuable player in the country for his particular team? Or is there anyone else that stands out to you guys?
If we don't have Marvin, dude, our passing game is because I'm just gonna be Marvin Harrison, right? Emeka Ibuka's been out the last couple of weeks. Our wide receiver 3 is probably Fleming or Tate. So then let's say we don't have 1A, 1B. So then you have Tate, Fleming, and probably Ballard. Those are your 3 receivers probably out there running routes, which who knows? They could be great, but dude, 18 is what makes this offense go.
Yeah, I think he's the guy. I think he's the most valuable player. I mean, if you just think about his yardage alone in the last, just this season, I think he's averaging 120 yards a game.
It's silly.
He had 100.
It doesn't make sense.
He had 162.
He sprained his ankle.
Yeah. Yeah. He's worse than last year.
You wouldn't know he sprained his ankle.
Worse than last year.
He just had 160. He had over half of McCord's passing yards.
Yeah.
He accounted for over half.
Yeah.
I mean, he's my Heisman favorite. Obviously, I'm
I was about to just ask you guys where he ranks in the Heisman conversation.
Caleb Williams ain't it. He's not winning it this year.
Well, they got McCarthy. He's the front runner right now.
McCarthy hasn't been playing good either.
This makes no sense to me.
I know. But yeah, right now,
Heisman moment would come against Ohio State.
Unless
they have to play Penn State still, but
Marv's got to be the guy. I think he's got to be. I mean,
the Heisman might come down to the Ohio State Michigan game.
And okay, so also when it comes to the Heisman, do you think Marv is thinking about Heisman, or you think he's thinking, let's just keep winning and it doesn't matter about the Heisman?
I don't
winning.
think the crap. Yeah,
winning.
That's what I think too.
He's never once complained about not getting the ball.
I know.
And there have been plenty of times the last couple of years where maybe we should have given him the ball more and we didn't.
He's just he's like the best teammate. Like
everyone's interview on the Pat McAfee show.
I didn't catch it. No,
they brought him in there and they were interviewing him, and he's just so chill.
Yeah,
he's just a chill dude. And he was talking about Kyle McCord and how they've known each other since high school and were roommates freshman year. And Pat was asking him, he's like, yeah, Kyle is getting a lot of he obviously had that really good drive against Notre Dame, but what do you think? He's like, Kyle's my dog.
Yeah.
He's like, that's my dude. So I think a lot of people get it twisted just watching Kyle McCord and what they mean to each other. And honestly, that connection, it might not seem like earlier in the year that it was there, but I mean, you just look at Marvin Harrison's numbers, he's putting up bigger numbers than he did last year with CJ Stroud.
Yardage, yeah.
Yeah.
Yardage for sure.
So Nick, you think he's the Heisman favorite as well?
I mean, there's no one else that's doing what he's doing. It's like
there's not even a quarterback that's playing super well. Michael Penix probably would have been
and then
favorite, and then he kind of didn't play good.
He took a dive.
I mean, I remember
he himself out of it in one game.
Dude, on Saturday I went to sleep and I woke up the next morning. I'm like, what the heck? Why was that Washington game so dang close? And Penix threw 2 interceptions. Like, what is going on? Like, and then Caleb Williams, obviously, they lose to Utah. So,
Go Utes, baby.
I mean, I think, yeah, I needed them big. But I think, yeah, Marvin's got to be the hopeful. He's my favorite, as he is probably in Buckeye Nation too.
And I think with how highly touted he's been, I mean, you ask pretty much anybody, any NFL team, any draft analysis person, they're like, who are your top 3 players? It's Caleb Williams, it's Brock Bowers, and it's Marvin Harrison, and they're interchangeable because they're all different positions. You're lucky to get one of those 3 players because they're the best at their position in the last 5 years, arguably. So I think he's the only one that's kind of still remaining of those 3 in that conversation as just best player, stats wise and production on the field. Brock Bowers has been hurt. I mean, when he's been playing, he's been amazing, but he had that bad injury. He's going to be out he had to have surgery on his ankle. And then Caleb Williams has 2 losses, and you're not going to win the Heisman as a quarterback unless you take your team to, your conference championship game. And I don't even think they're going to make the Pac-12 championship this year.
Not at this rate.
Not with Utah, Oregon, and Washington right there. So
does USC, do they still have to play Washington, or do they not play this year?
They play Washington and Oregon still.
See, they still have to play some time. Pac-12 is rough, man.
Well,
it's
the quarterback play in the Pac-12 is just so good this year too, like across the board.
I think Pac-12 champion makes the playoff just because of that conference.
Even if it's a 1-loss Oregon.
Yeah,
Oregon. Yeah, I mean, if Oregon wins out and you win the Pac-12 championship, it's kind of hard to argue against it.
Because it might be. I don't know how they're off the top of my head. I don't know how the Pac-12 is structured, but they might have to play a rematch. I mean, more likely they're going to have to play a rematch game between USC, Washington, or Oregon or Utah. So we kind of got off topic there, but yes, Marvin Harrison is my Heisman favorite.
Yes, agreed.
His odds are plus 2,500. Like I told you guys over earlier in the fall, got in at plus 3,000 over the summer.
He's better than Devontae Smith, so I'll say that.
Yeah. Yes.
He's on pace. I mean,
I agree.
He is well on pace for it. It very well might come down to Ohio State and Michigan for the Heisman as well. Yeah. Even though I don't know how McCarthy deserves. But
if he's in the final, if he's a finalist,
dude, that's a whole other subject. I feel like I just feel, that's just kind of getting ridiculous. We obviously have some other like topics we want to talk about that actually aren't related to Ohio State, but the Buckeye defense, guys, like we've talked about, has just been fantastic this year, especially against Penn State. Some great performances. What are some things that stood out to you this weekend with this Buckeye defense?
I'll just say one thing. 1 for 16 on 3rd down. And that one was late in garbage time. We're 0 for 15 the entire game until the Buckeye defense was playing pre-vet defense at the end just to make sure they didn't give up a big play quickly. So, I mean, 1 for 16, that's crazy. And that's been kind of their deal all year. It's like getting off the field on 3rd down has not been one of their strengths. They've kind of struggled on 3rd down as a defense. And, I mean, it was just a masterclass from Jim Knowles, honestly. I mean, first half, you didn't see it as much. Second half, dude, he turned the pressure up. He was bringing all kinds of blitzes from everywhere. I mean, he was bringing dudes from different angles. Aller was freaking he was so frustrated. I don't know if you saw his post game. I mean, he was brought to tears in the post game just because he was so but it's like I feel for him, dude. It's like he's 18 of 42. He's getting pressured all day long. His receivers aren't getting separation.
Yeah.
I mean, he has no playmakers outside.
And he's playing in Ohio State.
Yes. It's a homecoming game for him. It's a homecoming game for him. Maybe he's an Ohio guy. I mean,
It's a rough one, man. Yeah, it's a rough
honestly,
one.
A Buckeye.
I root for him every week except for this past week. You know, you want to see Ohio prospects play well. I mean, he's a 5-star coming out of high school. And I was talking him up all week to you guys. I really was. And I even said to you guys, like, I was completely wrong. I thought the kid was going to come in. I thought James Franklin was going to be a little bit more prepared and maybe look to have something better cooked up for play calling. But again, he just continues to lose to Ohio State when it matters the most, which I'm cool with. That's fine. But yeah, that defense, man. I mean, 49 rushing yards to those two backs is incredible.
Yeah. Shout out to JT. You know, plays. He becomes a different player against Penn State.
Which I don't understand why I can't get that against every opponent.
I think he's phenomenal. I think he's a great player.
Oh, dude, he'll be a first rounder.
I think so too.
Oh, he's easily a first, especially with what he did to Ola Falawasu or whatever that dude, the best left tackle in college football.
Left tackle? Yeah.
Oh, he will be a top 5 pick in the draft
This year.
More than likely, he will be. Yeah, he is the top offensive tackle in the draft.
I mean, the D line was great. Linebackers had a much better game. Steele, Chambers, Eichenberg. I thought Cody Simon played really well too. He doesn't get talked about as much as the other two, but I thought he's been playing really well lately. But the corners, I mean, I know, Jordan, you wanted to touch on the corners today too. I mean, no Denzel Burke, but dang, Jordan Hancock, Igbinosa, true freshman Jermaine Matthews Jr. I mean, dude, he played a lot of snaps.
Yeah.
He was out there a ton, and he balled out, dude. I mean, 3 solo tackles, had a pass deflection. He played really, really well, and you love to see that from your freshman.
You just took everything I was going to say. So.
Oh.
I was just going to say, I was really impressed with the corners. Just we were missing Denzel Burke. Denzel Burke's been playing really well, and they just carried it on. And that defense, man, they are looking. I think this second year in Jim Knowles' defense, they've taken that second step, and I think it was more than the right move to bring him in. That was a great hire. And last year we didn't see it as much. I mean, early on we saw it, and then as the bigger games happened, we're starting giving up all those points. Mm-hmm. Those last 3 games, it was kind of ugly. But the 2 big games this year have just been defensive battles, and I think that's the reason we're 7-0 right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, absolutely. Defense is the reason, a big reason why you're 7-0. I think what I really want to know is what's the status of Denzel Burke move? Now, again, you won you shut down Penn State. It's great. Need to get Denzel Burke back. So it'd be nice to get an update on him. I mean, we know he wasn't even warming up for this game.
What?
So
did they say what his injury was?
Oh, I got nothing.
Yeah, I
should we DM him?
Thank you, Denzel. What's going on, dude?
Your coach won't tell us what your injury is, so can you tell us?
Yeah, man. I mean, but okay, to be fair, when I heard Denzel wasn't playing, I wasn't too like, oh crap, we're in trouble. Just because Penn State didn't really have. I mean, you saw their receivers; they weren't getting separation all day long. I mean, there's nowhere to throw because the DBs were just right there always.
I really like Igbinosa and Hancock. I think they're both pretty solid.
Yeah, Igbinosa was a big transfer guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, I can't believe he transferred from Ole Miss. He was starting at Ole Miss.
That's right. Yeah,
so, I mean, I'll take it. I'm just a little surprised.
He's been great. I mean, really, he's been great. They both, Igbinosa and Hancock, both had 5 tackles on Saturday, which is solid. That means they're coming up in the run support and they're making plays. So it's always great to see that. And then the safeties, they played well as they have been all year. You know,
Josh Proctor's had a revelation.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Oh,
dude, it's just apparently staying in college for 7 years. It helps.
I mean, going from being a special team specialist to, I mean, he's playing the best football of his career right now. It's especially coming off the injury,
which is awesome.
Which is just awesome. You love that when you see guys come back from injuries like that and just ball out. So he's been really good.
Absolutely. As we're wrapping this up, guys, because there is a bigger subject to talk about from around college football this week. Is there anything else you guys want to add on this game?
Anything, George?
I thought it'd be closer.
Yeah. The scoreboard didn't really tell the story.
It was a good game though. I had a good couple moments where I was into it.
I will say, someone that doesn't get talked about a lot. Jesse Mirko had a really good game punting the football for us.
Dude, that punt, that 73-yarder.
70.
Punters matter.
And he had 2 inside the 20, and he averaged 47.5 on the punt game. He had 6 punts, so
he was awesome.
I mean, when you have a punter that can come in and kind of flip the field, that 72-yarder was huge. 73-yarder, that was massive. And then fielding, he's just been consistent. It's nice to just have consistency there at the kicker spot.
Yeah.
After we lost, what was his name? Who'd we lose?
Noah Ruggles.
Yeah.
Talk about
Ruggles. Yeah, he was another model of consistency. So it's just nice to have that just continue on. Because special teams matter.
The one thing we have to add before we wrap it up: who are getting your helmet stickers for the week?
Crap. I feel like we just have the same guys because the same guys are making plays every week.
Well, yeah, but that's what makes it like.
Farmer Gronk again with the head tap. That head tap over the seam, dude, crazy. And he just went over the top and just little boyed that dude.
Got little pillow hands.
It's like he's just been awesome all year long. And then on defense for me, I'd probably say Jermaine Matthews stepped up in a big moment. True freshman coming in. It's a big game. Great to see him perform as well as he did.
Yeah, I'll give my helmet sticker to Marvin. I think that touchdown at the end, iced the game.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just been so good this year. And then on defense, it's going to JT. JT made some really big plays in that game. And, he's Penn State killer, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. On offense for me, I'm gonna go. Trying to think. I'm actually gonna give it again. The yards per carry wasn't great, but the biggest thing I say about college football players is, you got to stay ready, regardless if you've played in every game or you haven't played much at all season. Mine Williams, ready to go, scored a big touchdown that first half, which really helped. Again, wasn't great, but again, he stayed ready and he performed when his number was called. So Mine Williams on offense.
He runs hard.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he does run really hard. That's for sure. Then on defense, Josh Proctor, man, continues to make plays. 2 pass deflections this game, a tackle for loss at the safety position. 3 solo tackles, 4 total tackles. Just been fantastic model of consistency this year and provided a lot of leadership with Tommy Eichenberg and Steel Chambers for that Buckeye defense. So Josh Proctor for me. All right, guys, we got about 10, 15 minutes here. The big topic of discussion, of course, is what is going on at the University of Michigan. So for those who are not aware, Michigan paid a staffer $55,000 to essentially go to Big Ten football games, 30 games over the last 3 years, and allegedly steal signs from the opposing team. And along with that, it looks like that staffer also had 2 tickets this weekend to Ohio State and Penn State. The staffer has since been suspended with pay, funny enough, but Michigan right now is under investigation by the NCAA. They're still under investigation for paying the whole recruiting thing from over the summer too. Question becomes, what do you guys think ends up happening with Michigan? How big of a deal is this? There are a lot of Michigan fans, including a friend of ours. There are a lot of Michigan fans, however, that are just acting like this is completely nothing. This isn't a big deal and nothing's going to happen. But what do you guys think about this current situation going on right now up north?
I mean, there's nothing normal about it.
So if I were to watch game film on a football team, would I not be able to see the signs on the sideline? That's because like my question is like, are they getting like TV broadcasts and that's what they use as their film, or are they getting like all 22?
I feel like it's all 22. I feel like it's not like
they get all 22.
Yeah.
They get all 22.
The scout, right? So why, number one, why are you even doing this?
Right.
If you have all 22 footage and you get to, unless you don't get to see before the play starts. So you don't get to see them signal the play in.
I think that's probably true.
That would be my only.
I don't know.
But all right. So then if you're doing it, you're getting an unfair advantage because nobody else is doing it. And now you're going into games knowing play, like knowing signals. And yet the argument our friend had is, well, you could just change your signals if you know that they're stealing them. But like, how do I know you're stealing my signals?
Exactly.
So how do you know? Like, you shouldn't know my signals. That's the whole thing. And so, like, you see a signal across the field. The dude that just went to my game last week tells the defensive coach, hey, they're about to run right zone right, on 3rd and 1. Like, you know the play. Like, of course you're going to be able to defend it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my issue is, like, that's really unfair for a lot of teams that if you're trying to brush that off as not being a big deal, I think you don't understand football.
Yeah.
Because football is a game of chess, right? And if you know the move beforehand, you're not going to do something, or you're going to do something to counter that move. Mm-hmm. And I think that this could possibly be the biggest bowl ban in NCAA history.
Yeah, man, it could be like SMU death penalties type stuff.
I think it could be a death penalty. If it comes down to it, I really do. I think this could be like a 3 or 4 year bowl ban.
It just
for a Big Ten team.
It just drives me crazy because it just has to be Michigan. You know, it just has to be those guys. And I can't really say I'm surprised. It's pretty on brand with who their head coach is, who just came off a 3-game suspension from the beginning of the year. You know, it's not like, and everyone thought, oh, he's on his way out after last year, you know. So it's just, I don't know. The timing of it all is just, it makes too much sense. How it's like, oh, it started 2 years ago. Well, 2 years ago is when they really started to get on their roll.
And think about what happened in the playoff.
Yeah, TCU. I said this to my wife. I said this to Rachel. I'm like, they didn't have time to go. They didn't get to go scout TCU because they didn't know who they were playing. They lost.
That's what I'm saying. To add to that point, before you continue, Jim Harbaugh's record before Michigan dodged playing Ohio State in the COVID year was 49-22. Since the alleged sign stealing incident, Michigan is 30-3. They have 2 wins against Ohio State since then, and they have blown out Ohio State and others.
They might get their last 2 seasons wiped.
I hope so.
Wiped.
Because it's not right, man. Like
he's
there's always
not going to be their coach next year.
No.
I don't see any way.
Oh, dude, he's going to the NFL.
There's a lot of aspects of the game that are changing that suck, but like the integrity of, like you said, Jordan, it's chess. Like, you're not supposed to know what their next move is. It's not a game anymore. It's just like, you already know what's happening. You got the answers to the test already.
And I know for a fact if Ohio State was doing this, I'd be so upset.
Yeah, it'd be
very 100%.
I would be like, well, we need to fire Day. Like, if this is what's going on, I don't know how you're defending your program after all this stuff.
And did you see all this stuff on X? All these Michigan fans, they're like, oh, what? We're not doing anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with it.
We beat your ass last year.
You're just mad that we're winning games now. But it's like, well, now we know why. Okay. I'm not saying that's all the reason. They do have some really good players. I mean,
They're great.
It is disappointing for the sport overall. And now we understand what Shiano was talking about all those weeks ago at his halftime interview. Everyone was like, "What is this dude talking about?" And now that interview is resurfaced, and they're like, "Yeah, there's some stuff going on over there. It's just not right." And now we understand. And now all this stuff is coming out. And the fact that this dude bought a ticket on each side of the field for this Penn State Ohio State game this past weekend
means there's more than one person doing it.
Or, well, they also said he didn't know which signs he wanted to get. He didn't know which ones were more important at the time.
I think they're in cahoots. I think there's more
probably
involved.
And then, dude, and the way that the Harbaugh's like, well, I have no idea. It's like,
bro, come on. You paid the guy $55,000.
Yeah, he's an ex like SEAL. Like the dude is like he's a military guy. So he's like attention to detail is spot on. He knows what Harbaugh knows what's going on.
At least they suspended him with pay. That was nice.
Yeah, good job. Keep his salary rolling. It's just it's
I'm not happy about it.
It's really disappointing.
Bro, Michigan fans are such hypocrites because they act like when Ohio State is selling memorabilia for tattoos, it's the worst thing in the world. Of course they should be punished.
Like it had nothing to do with
this gets brought up, and then all of a sudden, cheating in college football, stealing signs, that's not a big deal. Everyone does it. Everyone does it.
Well, and I said to our friend, if everyone does it, don't get caught. Just don't get caught. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If
somebody blew the whistle on it because they knew it wasn't right. That's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. They knew what was going on over there wasn't right, and they.
You think it was someone in the program?
Yes,
like on the staff.
It had to have been. It had to have been someone on the staff.
It had to be somebody on the staff or a player that knew what was going on, and they blew the whistle on it. And I'm sure it'll come out, in 5-10 years, who it was.
It's unfortunate. It really is.
Yeah, I think the advantage, like there's a difference between me and you playing a football game. You're calling signals on the sideline, and I start to pick up on it.
Right.
That's different than you going to an away game between two different teams as a Michigan staffer and filming a game. With the intent of using those signs. Like, you shouldn't even be there filming a game.
Right. Well, and I'm real interested to see if we're going to be able to see, what the NCAA comes up with when they get this footage from the security cameras in these stadiums, because that's what's coming up next. But it could get really bad for them pretty quick,
So I will say, I don't know. I was talking to my wife about this. The one question I have, this investigation is probably not going to be done this season. Mm-hmm. And Michigan goes on, let's say they win a national championship this year, and then it comes out, all this stuff. Like, that's such a bad look for the NCAA.
Yeah.
That your national champion was cheating all season, and you had an investigation ongoing, and you just continue to let them play.
Well,
they might ban them.
Yeah,
before the playoff starts.
Yeah, it would not shock me whatsoever if that happened.
Well, on the flip side of that too, it's like
it would be unprecedented. But keep in mind, this is unprecedented anyway.
You don't want that look, though. You don't want your national champion having to vacate a title after playing in 2 playoff games.
Well, and another thing though, it's like, if they supposedly suspended this guy with pay, are they going to be still? I mean, are they still going to keep this operation running the rest of the season? Like, that's another thing.
They were planning on doing it this week,
right? Exactly. Well, yeah. And then So it's just like it just makes me wonder how many guys are in on this, how many people that they have, like in case that maybe this guy's just taking a fall, but they want to keep this operation running and it's someone else. Like, who knows? Who knows how elaborate this is getting? Because, I'm sure Harbaugh was he's on the hot seat. I mean, you can't beat Michigan. I mean, you can't beat Ohio State. What's the point of coaching at Michigan? That's what you're there to do. You're there to beat Ohio State at the end of the year. And he wasn't doing it. So I'm sure he was getting pressure, and it's just unfortunate. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who it would have been. It's unfortunate either way. It's just not good for the sport at all.
No, it's not, man. And Jim Harbaugh is going to go back. Nothing's going to happen to Harbaugh. He's going to go to the NFL. He's going to collect his $50 million from some NFL team that's going to pay him to give him a bag, because I'll say this, there are plenty of – he will be one of the top names sought out for once again this offseason. Nothing will happen to Harbaugh. To be honest, I don't know what happens with Michigan, because, again, this is unprecedented. When you look at what it's hard to know what they're going to do, because SMU was obviously paying players. So, at that time, that's why they got the death penalty. The second closest thing we found was Miami, with everything Miami did, but Miami never got the death penalty. They were doing all kinds of boosters, giving money and strippers and things like that. But now you have a team that is caught stealing signs. And if your head coach, if the university in the athletic department knows about it, I wonder how far they're willing to go with this. I really, because I don't know. I'm not here to say either way, because I don't know. The NCAA has also made some really questionable decisions in the past over decisions. So,
Harbaugh scrubbing emails and everything.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, they're going. I mean, they're burning all the files. The
guy deleted his social media accounts.
Oh yeah, the shredders are out, dude. They are out, and they are being used at this moment. It just, it sucks. It really does, because now it makes me think. Well, was Michigan really better than us these last 2 years?
I don't know.
Just the whole collective. It just, like you said, that stat you threw out, their record before and after. I mean, that's enough for me.
They've been doing this for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Based upon the games.
Yeah.
3 years.
Even this year.
Yeah.
5 different opponents, but 3 years. I don't know what the games amount was. I think it's over 10 games for sure.
Yeah.
That they're scouting 2 teams that they're not playing. So
it's just, Ugh. It's gross, man.
It's really
it's very on brand. I can't say I'm flabbergasted by it, but that's coming from Buckeye fans. But I feel like even people on the outside looking in are like, "Whoa, that's kind of messed up."
I think the only people that aren't are Michigan fans.
Right? Yeah,
dude, they're just living in denial, man. That's really what I don't know how you can look at this. Listen, if that was Ohio State, we're not delusional. That's the thing. There's so many fans out there, and it's not it's in every sport. Something happens to their team, and they're just delusional about it. And they act like it's not a big deal. This is a huge deal, but they just don't want to admit it, because they think that we're out, that everyone's out to get Michigan now. Ross Reinhardt says time for the Big Ten commissioner to step up. Well, the Big Ten knows about it, so that's
under investigation for sure. So,
but yeah, it would not shock me if they were banned this year. And then more penalties will come down eventually. But one thing that would do is stick it to Harbaugh this year, because that's the only thing the NCAA can really do to Harbaugh anyway.
So is he still under investigation for the?
Yes.
So he got the 4-game suspension, and then he's still being investigated for the other stuff as well.
Yep.
Dude, I don't see how he survives this. Honestly.
Gone, man. I've said it for a while. He's going back to the NFL. I said this last off. It's a matter of time when he goes back to the NFL. Well, now he's definitely heading back to the NFL. So where that'll be, I don't know. But he's not staying at Michigan.
Probably not.
So this will be the last you see of him in college football. I'd be willing to put money down on that. Just being honest. So, all right, boys. As we're wrapping things up, is there anything else you guys want to touch on, whether it be hardball or anything else from around college football?
I feel bad for you guys that you guys took North Carolina in your parlays this weekend. That's a bummer.
Man. Thanks, man. Thanks.
I lost
Hey,
like 150.
I tried with the Knicks picks for college football. I tried to give you guys a bone, man. I really did. Never again. It's okay.
Oh,
It's okay.
All right. North Carolina players screwed me over twice this weekend, so whatever.
I mean, games this week overall were just kind of to me, honestly.
Yeah.
That USC Utah game was fun to watch. You always love seeing Caleb Williams crash and burn. That's always fun.
Crash and burn.
Fun time. And honestly, I think if Riley Leonard probably doesn't get hurt, Florida State probably loses that game. I think Duke probably pulls it off.
I agree with that.
But I mean, yeah, the games were kind of mid this weekend, other than the Buckeyes. What do you think, Jordan?
I'm glad USC lost.
Absolutely.
We know your love for Caleb Williams is so pure.
There's nothing more that I hate than an athlete that is phenomenal and arrogant. I hate that. Like, be humble. You're a really good player. Just like, there's no need to be like F Utah on your fingernails. Yeah, there's no need. I'm glad Utah owns Caleb Williams. That's all I can say.
Facts.
He's 0-3.
It is very satisfying, that's for sure.
As a
rapid thing,
in the games this weekend, before you wrap it up, what was your favorite game of the weekend other than the Buckeyes? Go.
My favorite. I don't know.
Other than the Buckeyes?
Yeah. Did you watch any of the other games?
No, I did. I'm just trying to think at the top of my head here. You
But
know what? Alabama and Tennessee. Bama won me third quarter cash.
Nice. Attaboy.
I watched
Bama.
the Utah game, but that was it.
Bama's on the up and up, dude. They're starting to. I mean, they might be sneaky, man.
They might be sneaky. They might come back and get it.
They might be sneaky. But go ahead, TJ. You can wrap us up now if you'd like.
All right, guys. Well, as a reminder, as always, be sure to drop a like on tonight's video. Subscribe if you're brand new to Network 216. We're trying to reach 3,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Anyway, we really appreciate everyone that tuned in to episode 34 of the Scarlet and Gray podcast. We will be back on Saturday morning for your Ohio State versus Wisconsin game day preview as the Buckeyes will travel to Camp Randall to take on the Wisconsin Badgers. That is a 7:30 kickoff. You know it's going to be a tough game. Just going to Wisconsin, it always is, against Luke Fickell. Brutus the Buckeye says thank you for tuning in. We will talk to you guys all again very soon. And as always, go Buckeyes.